Hey guys, before we get into this video, I want you to know the lighting is low because of the power outage in my area due to the recent hurricane that greatly impacted this area. As of today, we're 7 days with no power, but no complaints here. I'm still cooking up a storm. Thank you for watching and enjoy the video. Hey guys, and welcome to Everyday Living with Simply Mercy B. Today we're in the kitchen and we're going to do part 2 from the previous video. So in part 1, I showed you how I made my copycat Bisquick mix. I also showed you how I made copycat sweetened condensed milk. And today I'm going to share the recipes that I promised that I would share. I'm going to demonstrate a recipe and then I'm going to give you a recipe. Today we're going to make some easy cinnamon rolls. These are going to be some easy Bisquick cinnamon rolls. We have our Bisquick mix here, and I'm going to measure off 2.5 cups of our biscuit mix. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar. We have some milk, and this is just some whole milk I have. It's like 2/3 of a cup. Get that poured into our Bisquick mix and sugar. And we're just going to mix this until we get a ball. Okay, now as you can see, we have a ball that has formed. We're going to set this to the side. I'm going to take my biscuit mix and I'm going to sprinkle it on my surface here. Just like that. That was about 1/4 of a cup right here that I have sprinkled down here. We're going to take our ball of dough and we're going to add it to our biscuit mix. And make sure you start with clean hands. Okay, we have turned our dough out onto the surface that has been dusted with Bisquick mix. We're going to roll our dough in the biscuit mix. We're rolling it so it won't be so sticky. Once you have rolled it in that dough, we're going to go ahead and knead it. And when we're kneading it, we're going to take the heel of our hand and just flip of the wrist. Take the flip of the wrist and just roll it in that biscuit dough. And you want to do this about 10 times. You want to make sure it's not sticking to your hands or sticking to your surface. Okay. I'm going to let you see exactly what it looks like. It's just a little bit sticky, but not sticky where it's pulling away from your hands. I'm going to get my pan greased up and then we're going to move on to the next step. The most important thing about this Bisquick cinnamon roll, your dough does not pasteurize. So now I have my baking sheet here and I have some oil. I'm going to take this oil and I'm going to grease it well. I'm going to grease my pan really good. So I took my pan and I've greased it well. And you want a pan to be about a 15 by 9. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take our dough. Isn't it so beautiful? Check that out. We're going to take our dough and we're going to press it out into this baking pan. Now I have my rolling pin. I can do a better job rolling it Matter of fact, I'm going to have to roll it this way. And you can roll it on the surface if you like, but this is going to get you a true measurement. All right, so this is how we're going to do this thing. We're going to switch it up. I'm going to use the back of my pan. Therefore, I can use my rolling pin. You want to roll it the length and the width of your pan. Now you can choose to use a pin, a rolling pin, or you can continuously pat it until you press it and get it to this size. But I decided to use a rolling pin to make life a little bit easier. So now in this container I have some butter. And you need about 2 tablespoons of softened butter. And that's all I have in there, just softened butter. And we're going to take that butter and we're going to spread it all over our dough. Try to make sure every inch gets some of that butter. You want to go ahead and take 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. You want to take the 2 and mix them well. At this point, you have cinnamon sugar. We're going to take our cinnamon sugar and we're going to sprinkle it all over our dough. Now you can feel free to add any other ingredient that you desire, whether it be nuts, raisins, currants, cranberries, whatever you desire. Because we're making some easy cinnamon rolls. Now I am going to add some golden raisins I have here. I have like 1/4 of a cup of golden raisins, and I'm going to sprinkle those about my dough here. And then we're done. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So now we're going to take our long end and we're going to roll this dough up. We're going to start on one of the long ends. And we're just going to roll it just like so. And if it tears, just mend it back together. Keep rolling. Easy Bisquick cinnamon rolls. That's what we're making today. I'm going to take this side and bring it over because it's so delicate. Since I decided to put mine on the back of the pan, I'm going to go ahead and carefully bring it down to my cooking board. We can make 12 cinnamon rolls, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm just going to eyeball that. Okay, that looks like half to me. From this half, we should be able to get 6 here and 6 here. We're going to take it and slice it in half. Again, the half, we're going to slice that half in half. Now we're going to slice them in thirds. We're placing the cut side down. Now I'm going to take my end piece here and I'm going to cut that part off. Just so it can be more uniform. Okay? And that's those end pieces. No, it's not necessary. It's just my preference. We're going to put these into our 375 degrees oven and we're going to let them cook 25 to 30 minutes. Guys, Simply Mercy be here. I told you all I was on location. I am weathering the storm. I am in the Georgia area and I am on location trying to make these cinnamon rolls, these easy cinnamon rolls. However, I am not familiar with the oven that I am using and I decided to go ahead and check. It said, my recipe stated I should start at 375. Look, I've already tasted them. They taste really good. Check out that bottom. They was cooking too fast. So my expert opinion would be, since the recipe stated 375, I would start at 350 and I would take the time down to 20 minutes. That's exactly what I would do, because they're absolutely tasty. It's just that they was cooking too fast. They got a little bit too brown, and it hadn't even been 15 minutes with the oven set at 375. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and make the glaze. We're still going to enjoy these little burnt sweets. That's okay. For our icing, we're going to take some melted butter. Well, actually, we're going to take some softened butter, along with 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. I have 1/4 cup here. So we're going to do 2/4 cup to get our 1/2 cup. And then we have 1 cup. Oh wow, I have just enough. And I didn't even measure that before I left home. We're going to get that all stirred together there. I don't have a mixer, so I'm going to be using all my muscles to get this all mixed up. So it might take a while. So sit back and enjoy. We are going to add us some milk. It's coming together. Add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. When you're making a glaze, you want to watch your liquids. So I went ahead and added my vanilla extract before I added the rest of my milk, because I might not need the rest of that milk. And I do not need the rest of it. I think that is that's a nice consistency right there. We're going to go ahead and bring our cinnamon rolls over. We'll put a little icing on them. Oh, it's so beautiful. Check that out. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Let's check it out. Mmm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. This is a good cinnamon roll. Do not put your oven on 375. Put your oven on 350 and cook them 15 to 20 minutes because the flavor is there. Make sure you know your oven. They're good. And just think, I almost trashed them. So easy cinnamon rolls. I am weathering this storm, one recipe at a time. I hope you enjoy. Okay guys, we're back, and now we're going to use our sweetened condensed milk, our homemade copycat sweetened condensed milk. Let me show you. I just pulled it from the refrigerator, and as you can see, it's still very firm. And I'm going to make a very simple recipe today, and it's the way I start my morning, with a cup of coffee. I have a 4-ounce mug here. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to take a heaping teaspoon of my homemade sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to add it to my mug. That milk is just so beautiful, isn't it? I've already brewed some coffee here, and I'm just going to fill the remainder up with coffee. Now, if you're a person that like milk in your coffee, you want to leave some room to add your milk. But for me, this sweetened condensed milk is going to be just fine. So we're just going to go ahead and get that all stirred up. Now, if I was to add some milk to my coffee, I've chosen to use oat milk, and it makes a beautiful, smooth cup of coffee, in my opinion. Cheers. Morning cheers. Let's wake up. Perfect. Perfect. All I need is a pastry now to go with this lovely cup of coffee that I have made. Guys, I know this just was a very simple recipe that I've shown you on how I make my morning brew with the homemade sweetened condensed milk. However, I am going to also leave you a recipe on how I put together either a lemon pie or a key lime pie. So just check the description box down below. Also, I've shown you how I make easy Bisquick cinnamon rolls. There was a little oops in the kitchen because I was not in my kitchen, and I followed my recipe, and the recipe stated to set your oven at 375 degrees. I think 375 degrees was too high, and the time was too long. So it was asking me to set it at 375 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. That was much too long for that particular recipe. But first off, let me go back. First off, know your oven and your stove. Know what your oven will do and know how it's calibrated. So where I was baking at on that particular day, I should have set that oven at 350 degrees and started my time at 15 minutes because it was a really hot oven. So like I said, know your oven. But for that particular recipe, please set your ovens at 350 degrees and start watching them at the 15-minute mark. The flavor is really, really good. And add your glaze on there. Oh gosh, it is so great. I love that recipe. So it's not a bummer, but they just bake too fast, and I will make those again. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close the video out and say I thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. It is absolutely amazing all the love that you have shown me. I do appreciate it very, very much. And I'm going to continue making recipes and sharing with you all. I absolutely adore doing that. So until next time, we're going to see you right back here on Everyday Living with Simply Mercy B.